Welcome back. I'm Andrew, your crypto guy on the internet. And today I'm finally admitting that I'm bearish. I think things are going to be down or sideways for a while in the crypto market, and that's based entirely on the DXY. Now, why is the DXY so high? We have a hawkish Fed that's raising rates and they're not printing money. Okay? They're going to sell off on their balance sheet. And even though locally in the United States we have the highest inflation in 40 years, globally the dollar is doing awesome because everybody else is doing way worse. So Europe, Japan, everybody, they're still printing their money, okay? Because they're scared of a recession. They can't handle it. The American economy, although struggling, can handle a bit of a pullback. And so by comparison, everybody else's house has been leveled. Our house is just on fire. So we have the best house in the neighborhood, and that's why the DXY is so strong. Now, what does that matter for Bitcoin? Generally, when the dollar is strong on the DXY, Bitcoin is weak or sideways. When the DXY comes down, like the last few times, that's when Bitcoin has a parabolic bull run. Okay? So why do I think the DXY will continue up? Now, I think we might have a little bit of a pullback down to about 100, simply because that's how charts work. But if you look at the way things are going, a hawkish Fed, the rest of the world's in deep trouble. We have supply chain issues that will only get worse, especially with China's COVID lockdowns in full force. The DXY is going to continue up because the world will continue to lean on the dollar during difficult times. Okay? That means Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole probably won't do very much for a while. Okay, we're talking months out, at least 6 months, maybe longer. Does that mean Bitcoin's going to crash down to 20K? Absolutely not. Look, in my opinion, Bitcoin could go down 20%, could see 32, 33, but the lower the price goes, the more bulls come in and start buying, okay? They know that we're getting real close to the bottom. And that's when prices are good. They're already pretty low. We're already oversold. But if we go lower than this, the greedier it gets. So the lower we get, the harder it is to continue going lower. And I thought it was 61%. It's 71% of Bitcoin is in a long-term hold position. So when we see this price hanging around the 40K and then it stops, it simply runs out of volume. It runs out of selling pressure. The volume's really low, because not enough people are selling their Bitcoin. They either buy a little or they just wait, because that's the proper move. So who's selling Bitcoin along with all their tech stocks? It's hedge fund guys. It's Wall Street guys. It's paper hands retailers. The paper hands retail traders, they're mostly already gone. They bought in November at the peak because they heard about it at work. And then everything's just been going down or sideways ever since. And they go, Bitcoin's bullshit, and they sold off like idiots. I don't care. But the majority, 71%, they're sitting on their Bitcoin for the long term. That includes all of our biggest whales: MicroStrategy, Tesla, Square, Block, Doquan from Terra Luna. They just buy and wait, okay? Because they know we're going back up, and these prices are cheap. Now, it could go lower simply because of the DXY pulling interest away from Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I think 32, 33 is about as low as it can go. We might wick down to 29, but it's not going to last because people like me are going to go, whoa, and they're going to buy a ton of it real fast, make it bounce right off, okay? Now, for instance, locally, we did wick down to 38,200, and it bounced right back up to 40,000 because people have buys set there, because that's a great price, okay? It's really hard to break down lower, even with all this bad news. So what's going on with the stock market? You know, it's a little bit positive in the tech sector. We know we've had Amazon's earnings were like okay. You know, Apple's were fine. Facebook, their metaverse is a absolute failure so far, and that's probably because they're charging a 50% fee on all transactions. No one wants to jump into a metaverse where you lose half your money no matter what you do. Like, if this is like an alternate world, would you want to exist in a world where there's a 50% tax on everything? No. So Facebook's metaverse is going to either have to change that and lower the fees considerably, or no one's going to play in that game, okay? Still, Amazon's up 4.5% today. Apple's up 4.5%. Facebook is up 17%. I don't know why. I haven't read the reports in full, but I don't really care because look at how far they've fallen. All right. Either way, that's fine. So with crypto, how do we make money no matter what's going on in the price? And if the world is bearish or sideways, do you just have to sit on these crypto bags and hope for the best and get discouraged? No. You don't sell in a bear market. You just sit on your crypto and you make passive interest, compounding passive interest through staking, okay? And this is what's getting me through these days. Now, this is just a little account that I made specifically for this channel to show you that staking works, okay? So I just dumped a bunch of more Polkadot into the pile because there's a 12% return. $17 is pretty freaking cheap for Polkadot, so I'll get some of that. And then you have big stars like Kava. They're in the Cosmos ecosystem. They just made a bridge to it works with Ethereum now, and so their price has been pretty strong. Let's look at their chart here. Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty good considering everybody else lately been kind of down and shitty. Kava's doing well, and because they're kind of new to the block, they're attracting people to them with a 23% annual return on staking. So you can stake other more popular things like Terra, Solana, Ethereum, but their rate's a little lower because there's so many people that are staking it. Cardano's 4 to 6%. These guys want to stake so they have more total value locked. If you have more total value locked, it lowers the number of those tokens out on the market, which increases the value of them. It also gives them higher valuations. They can, with the proof of stake model, they can complete blocks in the blockchain faster. And if you're part of their staking pile, they pay out little rewards. Now, you can stake basically anywhere, but I want to stake with someplace that I know and trust. Kraken is a big exchange. They have excellent security, and they have a number of cryptocurrencies that I already like. Now, some of these guys, Secret Network, Tron, Mina, Algo, I'm not involved in them at all. I don't know what Flow is, Tezos, who the hell are these people? But stuff I've already owned and I already like Polkadot, Ethereum, Solana, Terra. I even got a little Kava and Kusama simply because of these rates of return. That's crazy. And it grows exponentially. So let's say you have 100 Polkadot and you make 12% on it. That 100 Polkadot becomes 112 Polkadot. And then you make 12% on that 112. Okay, so then you got 122 or 130, and then you make 12% on that 130. And it keeps growing and growing. So even if the price goes up and down a few points day to day, you're not stressing because you're making passive interest every day no matter what. And now, like, if you stake something, does that mean it's locked away, I can't access it? No, with the exception of Ethereum, you can unstake any of these whenever you want, and I actually did. So Kava, I used to have a much bigger pile. I had about 1,000 in there. But I bought so much of it at 306 and went to 515. I unstaked about half, sold it, made a big chunk of cash, and then spread it around in some other stuff. But I was able to unstake it instantly with either no fee or a negligible fee. It was nothing for me to worry about. Now, Ethereum is different in that once you stake it, you cannot unstake it until Ethereum 2.0 is out, and then another 6 to 12 months after that, okay? Now, the good side is that when you stake Ethereum now, it's only 4 to 7%, but when they're proof of stake entirely, these rates some people are charting will roughly double. So instead of 4 to 7, it would be like 8 to 14% a staking return. And that's to keep people staked, even though they're like, geez, I've been waiting so long, I just want to unstake it and sell it, which would make the price of Ethereum plummet. Instead, they're going to go, hey, we'll give you a juicier passive interest return if you stay with us. And that'll make a lot of people stay. Plus, when they go to proof of stake, they won't just open the floodgates for everybody. It'll be a little people at a time to keep a steady flow, okay? And actually, Ethereum will become deflationary once they go proof of stake. The value of this should go considerably higher. We're not looking at $3 grand a piece. You could be looking at 5, 10, 20 grand a piece over the next few years. So Ethereum is still king. As long as they can get this proof of stake thing to work properly, they should be good. Now, and then you have other ones like Solana, a little more popular. They're paying a lower rate between 6 and 8%, but I already like Solana. I'm sitting on it. You might as well make rewards on that while you do, right? So no matter what the price, you're still making money, and this is what you want to do. You want to stake, you want to be in some kind of DeFi protocol so you can make compounding interest during a boring sideways market like this, okay? Now, when is it going to come back up? We're probably going to have a local bounce, maybe as much as like 42 for Bitcoin, but I'm not counting on it because I know we're in a macro bearish trend that is unlikely to change until the DXY changes. Okay, now the DXY would change considerably if the Fed U-turns on its hawkish policies. Maybe they go like, hey, we don't want this recession to happen. We're looking at some metrics. It's looking a little scary. We might go easy on that. And that would help crypto and stocks, but the international buying power of the dollar would come down a little bit. Okay, so bottom line is, you do not sell right now. Now is not the time to sell. Okay, if we're in a bearish trend or a bearish market, this is when people are the most scared. This is when the casual morons sell at a loss. You don't sell. You hold or you buy. Okay? Now, when this meter is all the way into the green, when everybody at work's talking about Bitcoin all of a sudden, that's when you sell because you're at the peak market. That's when you get the most money. So this is when money's made right now, during the boring times when nobody's looking and things have been sideways and Bitcoin sucks. Those people are stupid. This is when you buy it. It's cheap, okay? Now, we know the market's going to come back. It always does. It won't be tomorrow, but it will happen. And the cheaper this price gets, the juicier the reward when it comes back up, all right? So that's what DCA is, dollar cost average. I'm not selling anything. I'm just waiting for this price to get even lower, okay? You'd think I'd panic because I have a bunch of cryptocurrency. No, man. If this does indeed fall down to 32, 33,000, there's going to be a lot of people buying, okay? And that means the price doesn't go down anymore. It just comes back up or stabilizes like it has been, even with all this scary news. Because there are too many smart people in crypto now that are long-term holders that learn their lessons, not to panic. Okay, you buy now. This is the time to buy or wait. So you could wait a little longer. That's what I'm doing. I bought a little at these numbers, but I didn't go all in. Okay, I still have cash on the side, waiting for it to potentially go lower. And as it goes lower, I'm going to be buying a little more. And I can afford to wait, all right? Because I'm making passive interest on the pile. I just add it to my staking pile the whole time. So that's the move, guys. You can make money in crypto no matter what the price is through passive interest in staking or decentralized finance, DeFi protocols. But I personally like staking because it's totally mindless. I can unstake and cash out whenever I want. And that's something I thoroughly recommend. So yeah, we're in a bearish trend. And it could be much longer, but you can still make money every day. You don't have to stress about it.